Hello, students. This is a very short overview of Chapter 7. The chapter is long, bulky, but it's not very difficult. I think it's very straightforward. So I'm just going to give you some highlights. All you're doing in this chapter, we're preparing a big master budget and budgeted income statement for the next period. So first of all, I will define the budgets. You are asked, I'm asking you in your in-class activity due Thursday to describe benefits like pros and cons, positive and negative outcomes of the budgets. You can find the answers in your book. You can look it up online, go through Google. Give me some good, specific, detailed positives and negatives. And then, guys, the components. This is another question in the in-class activity. I ask you to list the components and briefly describe each component. So a master budget is a bunch of different budgets. The master budget actually has 1, 2, 3 types. It includes operating budgets, everything that later goes on the income statement, investing budgets, financing budgets. Another term for financing budgets is cash budget. I would say that cash budget is probably the most difficult one. Everything else is pretty straightforward, short, and sweet. And then we are preparing all of these budgets in order to prepare budgeted financial statements, income statement and balance sheet. Budgeted financial statements for the future period. So this is a definition of a budget. It's a formal statement of company's plans expressed in monetary terms. It allows us to estimate future expenses, revenues. It results in the future financial statements, in the budgeted financial statements. And as I said, I'm not going to go here over slides for pros and cons. You have to research it on your own and give me an answer in your graded discussion board. So a master budget is a comprehensive planning document for the entire organization. So this is an exhibit from your book. Everything in this orange color is operating budgets. So operating budgets, like I said, anything leading to the income statement. And then investing and financing budgets, anything that leads to the balance sheet. So this is a great slide I prepared. These are components of a master budget for a manufacturer. So operating budgets, they are needed to run daily operations. Again, they lead to the income statement. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Sales budget, production budget, manufacturing budgets include direct materials, direct labor, overhead budgets. And then operating expenses budgets include selling expenses budget and general and administrative expenses. So these are operating budgets. Let me now go to illustration problem which I emailed to you, or I'm going to email to you. This is the best thing to study for this chapter. I spent a lot of time preparing it. So I have 2 Excel files. If you have Excel, that's the best thing. If you don't have Excel, you cannot access it, send me an email. I have the same problem done in Word. But in Word, you cannot see formulas. In Excel, you can see formulas. So I'm sending you 2 files, Chapter 7 illustration problem blank, and then Chapter 7 illustration problem, same problem completed, right? So when you look at illustration problem blank, I give you June 30th balance sheet, last month's balance sheet. And I want you to prepare master budget for next 3 months. And then on the bottom here, separate sheets, you have sales budget. I did it for you. But again, when you look here, you can see formulas. You see right here all the formulas, where information is coming from, you have the formulas. And then production budget. I also prepared it for you. You can see all the formulas. Take your time, look at it. It's not that difficult, but it could get overwhelming. Just what's coming from where. It should make sense. It's not that difficult of information. And then you have your direct materials. You need to prepare this budget. Direct labor, overhead, selling expense budget, general administrative expense budget. So again, if I go back here, sales, production, I prepared for you. Manufacturing and operating expenses, you have to prepare yourselves. But if you're struggling, this is the completed problem. So if you go to direct materials, it's done right here. And you can see again all the formulas. Look right here, all the formulas. Direct labor, all the formulas. Overhead, I've done. Selling, general administrative, I've done all of them. And then guys, the second part are financing budgets. So operating budgets lead to the income statement. Financing budgets determine the company's need for new assets. By investments, we mean here long-term assets, building, equipment, capital. And guys, there are two of them. Capital expenditures budget, you will not even need to prepare. Cash budget, I combine it together. That's the most difficult one. And then it leads to the balance sheet. So again, if I go now back to the Excel spreadsheet for the blank problem, I ask you to prepare cash budget. Right here, that's the cash budget. But if you go back to the problem completed, I've done that cash budget for you. It's all done, all formulas. Just take your time. If you have questions, email me or post them in the ungraded discussion board. Now, for the financial statements, I am asking you to prepare the budgeted income statement in the comprehensive problem, and I have it prepared right here. But for the balance sheet, it gets too difficult. So in your homework, so I'm not asking you to do it. In your homework, you will prepare all budgets and the income statement in your homework. Homework Learn Smart quiz are due on Sunday. On the test, I am only asking you to prepare production, all of this manufacturing budgets, and cash budget, and combined cash budget. That's it. On the test, I will not ask you to do the budgeted financial statement, operating expenses, sales. So your homework, I ask you to do everything but the balance sheet. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Your textbook goes over it, but it gets too complicated. So that's pretty much it, all the highlights you need to know about Chapter 7. Study, do not hesitate to post your questions, and I will probably record a similar shorter video with highlights for Chapter 9. But Chapter 9 should be pretty straightforward. Take care, bye.